everyone. Welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. I'm Wendy.
I'm Cadence. I'm Colton.
And he's Carson. Today we're doing the Mystery Box Challenge hosted by my friend Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap. And we're getting ready to unwrap some goodies that were sent to me by Yami. I can't wait for you to see what I sent to my friend Natalie over at Design to the Nines. So as soon as you're done here, go check out her video. And you can check out all of the other channels to see what they've done with their mystery items as well. And now, without further ado, let's see what's inside. So I have a sweet little card. Uh-oh, Grandma needs her glasses.
Okay.
Okay. It says, "Hi Wendy, I'm so excited to see what you do with these pieces. I think you will make gems out of them. A couple of the items are tributes to some of my previous videos. Wink. But I have complete faith in your talents." Oh no, what does that mean? Your friend Yami. Okay. So let's see what we've got. Oh, we have lots of paper.
I don't
What? Okay, so first the challenge items are, oh my gosh, this feels so weird. 2. Okay, is there another purple one in there?
There is this one here. This is challenge number 1.
Okay, we'll see what that is last. It made a sound, so I think I know what it is. Okay, what do we have? What is this? This is so pretty.
That's number 1.
Oh, how pretty. It's a dish towel. That's pretty. So the way this works is we can use whatever we want or not all of it. Oh, Yami went thrifting.
Beautiful vase.
That's so pretty.
You could put flowers in it.
I could, huh? What else could I do?
Paint it and put scripture on it.
You've seen my channel. That's such a great idea.
And then you could put flowers.
Yes. Okay. Oh, how cute.
Oh, are you done with those? So pretty.
Look how pretty. So it looks like she thrifted these for 99 cents each. So pretty. Yami's an awesome thrift shopper. This was only $1.99.
You did
This obviously is new. Okay.
And then we have
oh, look how cute.
basket of
And this has been on somebody's wall.
You could hang that on the wall and you can put flowers in it. So many flowers.
You're so smart. So this was 99 cents. Oh my gosh. She has an awesome Goodwill. Okay, can you reach in there?
Oh, let's see the big glass.
Ugh. Cute. 99 cents for a real cutting board. Man, I needed this just about
one video
yesterday.
Yeah. So cute.
So cute. Oh, I'm excited
Okay, then we have a
use
really
that.
big thing here. It's so beautiful.
Oh my
Flowers
gosh.
on it. You can do so many things with that.
I could. This is, oh my gosh. This is so pretty. Okay, now let's get to the challenge items.
Those are challenge items.
Okay, let's put all of this back in. My brain can't stop going right now.
Thank you for all the amazing thrifting items.
So challenge item number 1.
Oh,
What do you think that is?
I think those are shells.
Okay, what do you think they are? Beads? Okay, well let's see. Are you sure beads?
I hear shells.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, what is it?
They're shells.
Shells!
Haven't
Yay!
you been using lots of shells?
I only used them one time because I'm not a real big coastal decor person, but now I'm gonna be. Challenge item number 2. This feels pretty scary.
Let me feel it. I think that is gonna be what? Take it. Wait a second. They feel like spoons.
Uh-oh. One more guess.
There's something going down in
Okay, let's just do it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I have a feeling this is gonna. I have a feeling this is gonna be a tough one. Oh, this is not a tough one. I thought it was gonna be a Dollar Tree toy or something. Oh, it got a little damaged. Darn it.
I think you can seal it.
I can salvage it.
Yeah.
We can rebuild it. We can make it stronger, better, faster.
Awesome. Can't run.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be fun. And the last item that we have to use is a non-perishable food item. And now I know what she was talking about, giving a tribute to her previous video or one of her other videos. It's a non-perishable food item that we have to use in one of our crafts. So Yami has graciously sent me some green peas, or what are these called? Split peas? What are these called?
Those look like split peas.
Split peas?
Yep.
Watch these.
It's just to be creative so that we can use it in our project.
Maybe you can put like, get like a cup and put some of that on the bottom to stick some things in it to hold it.
So I'll be back in a couple of days after I've thought about this and see what I come up with. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
You can't see it at all.
A little too close. That way I can turn it on when without having to push it. You want to get a shirt on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab
I don't need any shoes.
when I tell
When
you
we're
when it's
done.
done.
I have,
After you're done, yeah.
look at my eyes. There's circles in it.
They're very pretty. And now, without further ado, let's get started. So we totally crunched up this gorgeous tree topper, but I was able to super glue it somewhat back together anyway. It's so delicate and fragile, but it's just beautiful, so I was determined to use it. So I'm using some Dollar Tree items to make this project, and the first thing I did was heat up this alien space technology glue that was holding the berries on, and I popped those off, and then another small surgery, which I would be doing the whole time. I really wanted to make these items into functional and pretty DIYs, but I didn't just want to redo the thrifted pieces. I wanted to make them into something completely different than what they started out to be. So I prepped my Dollar Tree pieces and glued this plastic container with the lid side down to a chunky wood round. And then instead of the wire I had with the supplies, I decided to use one of the rings from a smaller 3D wreath form and cut it in half. And then I bent the sides down and stapled it to the rims of those two wood medallions. Next, I used 3 plunger handles, and I had Michael J cut those down into 4 separate pieces, and then he screwed the longest piece to the inside of the container, and he put a wood piece inside there to make it more secure since it's plastic. And then because of the leftover wire where I had cut the tree topper holder thingy off, whatever that's called, he drilled a hole in there so I could place it over that, because I was taking no chances by trying to take that piece out and breaking it even more. So the openings of the star were the perfect size to fit the plunger handles in, so I tucked those in there at the top, the bottom, and then both sides. And then before painting my cross scale, which is what I'm calling it, I threaded in some little hooks at the ends of the 2 arms. Now I was going back and forth with whether or not to paint this black or white, but in the end I went with the white for 2 reasons. This was originally going to be a cross with some hanging fabric that you could also use as a scale. And then the scales that I've seen are usually in black, but I didn't want my cross to be black. And I knew I'd lose a lot of that beautiful detail in this star. So I opted for the white, and I think it works for the scale even better than I thought. So then I mixed some Waverly Wax in Antique with some mineral chalk paint to get this gorgeous beigey color. And then I just dry brushed it all over, and oh my word, it looks so pretty. Now I'm going to be making 2 sweet little wreaths using some Walmart boxwood greenery and some paddle wire, and then I slipped a votive inside and onto the holders, and it's done. And here it is as a beautiful farmhouse scale, and I am so happy with how this turned out, you guys. And then for Easter time, I pieced together a Dollar Tree tea towel to make it long enough so that it would drape over the arms and then puddle at the bottom. And my heart is just so full from looking at this. I love it, and I hope you like it too. On to our next challenge item, this generous bag of shells, and I used these additional supplies. And the first thing I did was separated my shells according to size so that I could see what I had, and that kind of determined the design for this project. So one thing Sweet Yummy did recommend was to wear a mask when drilling holes into shells because there's a super fine powdery dust that gets everywhere. So you definitely don't want to breathe those particles in. And I'm not sure what to call this, maybe a wind chime, or it could be a chandelier if I put a light in it. So I could either call it a SHELLDALIER or a chimedalier. I don't know. I like making up names for my projects. So I started stringing on my shells and Pinecraft beads in 10, 12, and 14 millimeter sizes, and I did them in 4 different patterns and sizes. Now, since this is a project that you could do without a thrifted item, I have the measurements listed in the description box below if you want to make this using the Dollar Tree wire basket, and you can make it however you want that design to be, but the lengths will be the same, and that'll probably make more sense once you see it put all together. So I painted the basket and the outside portion of a 10-inch embroidery hoop in my Krylon matte white spray paint, and then started tying my strands to the top rim, alternating 2 of my patterns. And then I turned it over and tied them to the bottom. And I always wait to cut off any extra strings or twine from any project I'm doing, just in case I need them for something else. But if I cut them off too soon, then I don't have that option. So then I placed my hoop at the top of my basket and tightened it, and that'll keep those knots in place and give it a super pretty finished edge. And then I'm going to finally cut the twine off once I'm sure I don't need it, but then I left 3 of them so I could hang it while I was working. And then I added my second layer of beads right where the bend happens of the bottom of the basket. And then the third layer, which is going to be a little bit longer, and I only did 5 of them, I attached to that very bottom inner circle of the basket. And here it is, all finished. And I have to tell you, I am so smitten with this SHELLDALIER. And actually, it was really pretty when I just had 1 layer on it. But you can do it however you want. I love it, and I hope you like it too. Okay, so I was super stumped with the split peas, and I had thought about using them to stuff a sweet little gnome, but I really love the pretty green color and I wanted it to show. But since Yami already made the most spectacular candle holders in the world with them, I decided to use 2 of these Dollar Tree glass signs. I thought I would need 4, but I only ended up using 2. So this is a different kind of printing material because acetone usually takes the words right off of glass, but they were not budging. So I used a razor blade and they came off in a jiffy once I got the right angle, and it was pretty fun too. So once the words were off, I pulled out the glass and painted the frames with my Waverly chalk paint in white, and then I replaced the glass with some super glue and locked it in with some hot glue on the top part. Then I got all of my fingerprints and the ickies off of the inside with some glass cleaner. And then I made 2 squares out of some Dollar Tree poster board. Now, if you have something a little thicker, that might be better, but this still works. And then I had these smaller scraps of cardboard from some Dollar Tree signs that I'll also be using to give it some more stability. Now comes the fun part. I gathered a bunch of dried goods, and here I used a tricolor quinoa, my split peas, some baby limas, black beans, and some white corn. Yeah, it's really popcorn, but you know. And then I'm just gonna mush it all down really well, bump it around so it kind of settles better. And then I put the smaller cardboard down to push it all into place, and then hot glued my poster board onto the back. And then on the second one, I used a peppercorn medley, Makeovers beans. I have never heard of those in my life, but they were pretty colored. My split peas, some black-eyed peas, and some pumpkin seeds at the top. And I didn't glue the top of my poster board at first, just in case I needed to add more to that top layer if it settled a little bit too much. But I packed it well enough apparently, and I didn't have to. So I love painting white onto black items like this frame, because then when you sand it, the black peeks through and gives it such a pretty distressed farmhouse finish. And then finally I used my Sharpie paint pen and freehanded Genesis 2:8, and the Lord God planted a garden. And isn't it amazing the variety of healthy and flavorful food that God has provided for us? Not to mention, they're so pretty to look at, you just might even want to frame them. Also, if you do this project, make sure that you place your smaller items at the bottom, like the peppercorn or the quinoa, or if you want to use rice. Otherwise, it'll fall through the gaps of the larger items, kind of like a game of Plinko. And I learned that the hard way in my first test run for this project. And here they are all finished. And these frames are chunky enough to sit on a shelf or counter, but you could also add a sawtooth hanger and hang them on the wall, which is what I'm probably going to do, and put them in my kitchen. I love them so much. Oh, and I hope you like them too. Next up, I'll be making this adorable cutting board into a recipe holder, and I first painted it with my Waverly chalk paint in ink, and I left a little bit of the pretty wood showing at the very tippy top, and then once it was dry, I gave it some rustic charm by sanding the edges. I'm also going to be using this Dollar Tree dry erase easel, and I'm going to paint that black and sand it as well to give it some distressing along the edges. And this will be our little kickstand for our cutting board. And then I found this old clip in my stash, and it is so old that it has kind of a natural worn out and rusty finish. So I knew this would be perfect. And Michael J just screwed that right into the handle using a screw and a washer, and it's snug as a bug in a rug. And then for the top, I strung on some Pinecraft wood beads and attached those, feeding it through that hole, and then tied the twine in a knot. And I'll have these beads linked in the description box below, and I can't remember if I already told you that or not. And then for some ribbon cuteness, I cut some gingham, some sisal looking ribbon that I found with the Dollar Tree gift wrapping ribbon, and then this super pretty striped ribbon that I got at Walmart for $2 a roll. And I cut 6 small strips and tied them together with some jute twine, and then tied that to the handle. And then I dovetailed all of the edges and made a sweet little bow to place on top of that scrappy part. And now it's time to stand this guy up, so I used some permanent adhesive and some hot glue and attached that to the back of my board. And then just like Cadence thought, I'm using a decal that I designed a while back, and I'm placing that on my cutting board, and it's done. And here it is, all finished with one of my Aunt Jeannie's recipes on there, which is very special because it's in her own handwriting. But I think this turned out so super cutie patootie. It's functional, shares some good word. I love it, and I hope you like it too. For our next project, we're going to be using YAMI'S thrifted vase and that gorgeous dish towel. And I felt like the vase was the perfect shape for a lamp base. So Michael J picked up this diamond hole saw bit that I will have linked in the description box below. And he first filled the vase with water and then laid it sideways in the sink with water almost covering it but not fully immersed. And then he just drilled away, and after about 30 to 45 seconds or so, it made a perfect 5/16 inch hole, and I was just so happy it didn't shatter. If it did, you'd be watching me make a mosaic serving tray, because that was my backup plan, just in case, but I had faith in him. So then I'm going to paint the vase with my Waverly chalk paint in ink to coordinate with that pretty dish towel. And then I happen to have this old lamp in my laundry room that I've been meaning to replace because the shade is all cracked and brittle and dented, but it was the perfect size and proportion for the vase. So I took it all apart and then did some more surgical work and fixed up my shade with the Dollar Tree chopping mats. So I just cut those down to fit around the perimeter and then punched little holes along the edges and sewed that to the existing shade going around the wire form at the top and the bottom. And I used a super heavy duty thread to do that. And then I cut my dish towel down to size and gave the cut edge about a 1/2 inch seam allowance so I could iron it over and give it that same finished edge as the other side. And then I hot glued that around the top and bottom. And of course it doesn't quite make it all the way around, so I added an extra piece in the back. And then I started peeling off the inside cracking plastic or whatever that is, using my Cricut spatula because I didn't want the light showing through those cracks once I got it all covered. And then I put my lamp pieces back together, fed the cord through that perfect, beautiful hole and replaced the switch. And then I had Michael J reattach the plug-in thingy since he's an electrician and knows the safe way to do that. And here it is, all finished. And I love this pattern so much. I might just redo my entire laundry room just so that it matches it. But I'll keep you posted on that. Now this is one of my all-time favorite thrifted makeovers, and I really love the shape of this box and these pewter candle holders, but I didn't want to make them stay what they were. So I took all of the hardware off of the box, and I'm sure I'll be able to use those for something else in the future. And I'm just going to paint my box and my candlesticks with my Waverly chalk paint in white. And then using a black Dollar Tree furniture repair marker, I made those faux distressing marks around all of the edges and a little bit on the front. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the candle holders so that they match. Now I'm going to attach my candle holders to each of my tiers, and I did have to take off the felt and rearrange the bottom of the candle holders a little bit so that it was more secure and super sturdy. Now for the top of my tray, I wrapped 2 Dollar Tree shower curtain rings in some jute twine, and then I wrapped them together at the bottom and then glued them into the top part of my candle holder, and it's done. And here it is all finished, and oh my goodness friends, I love this piece so much. And since it's flat on the back, I can place it against the wall or my backsplash on my countertop. I just love it so much. I don't even think you can tell it used to be a box. I was so nervous coming into this challenge, but I think Yami went easy on this newbie. So thank you, my sweet Latina. Thank you, Courtney, for inviting me to your party, and thank all of you for watching. Don't forget to check out the full playlist linked in the description box below for more fun mystery box DIYs. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye!